Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber. With me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
This is another one in our State of Affairs series where we're talking about the state of New York today. So a bunch of NFL teams, bunch of college teams to talk about, a lot of football in New York.
Yeah. We're focusing mostly on the NFL. I think the highlight college program we're going to talk about is Syracuse. Jeff's got the Syracuse shirt on today. But I guess we'll start off with the Bills. This is the one shot at the Super Bowl that the state of New York has. I'm pretty sure that's a safe bet, right? I don't think we think the Jets or the Giants are in the running for anything as far as the Super Bowl goes.
Nope.
And I mean, the stage is set. Josh Allen's there. He's, just got paid. He just got married to Haley Steinfeld. And I think they did okay in the draft. Again, we don't really know if any of these picks are going to hit, but they had a high-powered offense last year. They have what seems to be a good enough defense. Their one problem is the Chiefs. They just have to get past the Chiefs.
Well, and I think that the thing that I'm worried about this year is that going into last year, they lost a bunch and they were like, who's going to be the difference maker on offense? Like the Josh Allen's amazing, but like, who's he going to be throwing to? Who's going to be running the ball? And they were really worried about that. And it was really by committee. He said one of the famous things last season was like, everyone eats in this offense, but I'm worried about that working again. I don't know, like going into this year when people load up on like, a major free agent wide receiver or something like that, like what have you done to make it better? Like you're just hoping that you run it all back, the same. And I don't know if you can do that in the 2 years in a row. So I'm a little worried, like, yes, they were amazing last year. Yes, there hasn't been too many major losses or, things like that. But like you said, the major addition in the offseason was the draft, which everyone did. And now they're in a position where it seems like it feels like they need more of them. There's more pressure on the draft picks to hit for them this year than some other teams, maybe for a contending team.
Yeah. Cause when you look at them, there's two, I think, glaring, well, let's say not glaring. There's two things that would make Bills fans uneasy. They have not beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs. And every time they face the Bengals in the playoffs, it goes really badly.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they can beat the Ravens in the playoffs, which is, I would almost not think it would go in that order. I would expect them to struggle with the Ravens more than the Bengals. But man, the last time the Bengals were in Buffalo, kicked the crap out of them. So, we're obviously talking about MVP caliber QBs across the board. They have one, but they're up against Burrow, Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson, which is brutal. Like that's what they're going to have to go through every year. Because we collectively think the Bengals are likely a playoff team this year. So somewhere in there, if the Bills make the playoffs as they usually do, that they're going to have to somehow maybe get through Burrow, maybe get through Jackson. They might have to go through all three, Burrow, Jackson, and Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I think that this is the same for every team, but like home field advantage in the playoffs is important, especially for a team like this that has trouble beating some of those other teams, right? Like I think it'll be possible for them to finish with a better record than like Baltimore or Cincinnati, and then that makes that game feel really different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a tough schedule this year because they're going to have like a first place schedule. So it's not great. The last 2 of the 3 games is against the Browns and the Jets. So that's nice if you're really need a win there at the end to make a difference. But it's I think I'm just worried that they haven't. That's my thing going into it for my state of affairs. What I wrote down for New York today was one Super Bowl contender and then a bunch of teams that are going to get someone that when the other team does, like counts that as a win. Okay. So the Bills are a contender. We just established that. No one is thinking the Jets or the Giants or Syracuse or Army for that matter would be a team that like, on most team schedule, you're like, well, that should be a win, but they're going to get someone. One of those teams is going to have a big upset or it's going to have a significant impact on another team this season. Army had an amazing QB and they had an amazing run last year. They went undefeated in their conference and they lose their really good QB. But the guy that's going to be starting this year is a senior. He's been there the whole time. It's the same coordinator, so there will be a drop off, but not as much, I think, as people think. Same
Oh,
thing with
they were must-watch TV for us last year.
They were great.
So much
Yeah.
fun to watch. That QB was outstanding.
No, it's fantastic. And you get like 100% effort all the time, which is one of the things I love watching the Service Academy games. And, Syracuse loses a bunch, but they've got the same coordinators again in their, so the people who are going to be playing there were backups last year. So they lost a lot. But again, their Syracuse could beat someone, and that's going to, and I think it's the same thing with the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah, they could clip someone. So they're the ones that could spoil someone's seasons, where the Bills are the only representative out of the state of New York whose season could be spoiled. But they're not in the spoiler role. They're in the lead role. I guess the last point on the Bills is, as of time of recording, James Cook, I think he's in training camp, but I read an article saying he wants Saquon Barkley money. Who the hell does he think he is? I know he's good, but
it seems like a lot.
It's a bit much, right? Barkley almost set every record you could set. It's just, come on. Like, he rushed for 2,000 yards. You're not Barkley. You're good. You're really good. But
and if Cook isn't signed, and then just as of time of recording, Shakir went down with a high ankle sprain too. So again, you don't have major impact people really in the skill positions there, other than James Cook as agent, apparently his thought process. But it's so you cannot lose anyone. Like, it's when how deep is the skill positions for the Bills? I don't know. So I'm more concerned about, I think New England's going to be better this year. Miami's always a tough one, so I don't know. I mean, they're
still the class of their division.
They are,
sure.
but it's not.
I still think the defense is going to be good. As it's going to be as usual, the defense. I know a couple of people are got some nagging injuries. Oh, and then Harrison, their number one draft pick, or their first round draft pick, defensive back, I think he's nursing an injury too. I think it just came back that it was not an ACL tear, but an LCL strain. So, but either way, and Landon Jackson was out for a bit. Their defensive end pick for, I don't know, I think he was on the physically unable to play list for a bit. So, I mean, we're still a few weeks away from the season, but it's not good when, like you said, Shakir, their number one receiver, is questionable, and two of their highly rated draft picks are both already got nicked up a little bit. It's happening to every team. It's actually shocking to me every time I see another article about someone who's nicked up or is already gone, like from training camp, like already a torn ACL somewhere. There's a few players. I think it maybe the Browns lost a starting cornerback to an ACL tear already in training camp.
Well, so it makes me think of the Micah Parsons podcast, right? Where it's like, could you imagine being an owner and investing like millions of dollars into what you think is an asset, and some of it, it's going to make your team better, and then all of a sudden in a second, it's like they're gone, and you don't. There's no return on that, and it's terrible to think of players as assets and things.
Well, that's what they are.
Well, I mean, and they're the first ones to say it, right? They know it's a business. They know that's why they're holding out for contracts, because you never know what could happen. So
that's why they negotiate hard. They're like, okay, you're going to treat me like that, then I'm going to treat it like a business too. I mean, they picked up Bose in the offseason, but he doesn't play a full season in the last number of years. He can't put a full season together. So if he's healthy, that D line's pretty good. Like, it's really good. And if Landon Jackson shows up at all, like according to where they picked him, but either way, I put it this way: I don't think the Bills need a draft pick to hit to make it. Like, what they have, if Shakir is healthy, what they have should be enough. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, maybe it's just me, but I'm more worried about them going into this year than last year. I just think it's a little bit harder to replicate when you're the plan. Like, no one expected them. A lot of people picked them to not finish first in their division last year. Yeah. And because of like the roster and stuff. And they were really good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they were really, really good. But here's another way to put it. I think, like, to your point about the having trouble with either maybe not the Ravens, but the Ravens are a good team. Like, if they lost the Ravens in the playoffs, we wouldn't be terribly surprised,
no,
right?
No, not at all.
And they have a Cincinnati and a Kansas City Chiefs problem. So if in those games, when you need a difference maker, either at running back or at wide receiver or something like that, or on the defense, I just don't know who that's going to be for them. So Could you have a good regular season? Sure, but that's the time where you would really see a difference.
You know what? Now that you're saying that, I'm thinking in my head, wait. Of course they have it. Okay, clearly Josh Allen himself is the
Oh,
biggest difference. Okay,
absolutely.
but all those teams you just said all have MVP caliber difference maker QBs. So
Yes.
you could almost say that's even.
Yes.
That's evened out across the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Bengals. You've got four. Every one of them has an MVP Super Bowl winning caliber QB. All right,
Yes.
so let's just say they neutralize each other. You're going to get a game-saving play out of all of them.
Yeah.
So let's say then as you were saying that, you're like, oh, I don't know who's going to be the game changer. And I kept thinking, oh, what? And then what about this guy? And I'm like, oh, wait, do they have a truly standout guy? Because they keep the narrative of the Bills offense is it's by committee.
Right.
Everyone, and they scored a lot of points last year. And I know that locally, the local media was getting on the GM's case for not having a game-breaking receiver on a local, and the GM actually fired back on the local radio scoop. So we scored 30 points a game. We were the number 1 or 2 in the league. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But perception-wise, they're like, well, we don't have Jamar Chase. We don't have, even though Shakir's numbers are outstanding, it didn't feel like there was this threat, like a Tyreek Hill in his prime threat. It doesn't feel like it's there, even though they score a ton of points. But to your point, that's like by committee. But then I think the defense is the same.
Yep.
There's quality at all levels of the defense. They seem to be able to plug and play guys when other guys get hurt, because they've had their entire secondary go down in the last 2 years. And somehow everyone they plug in is enough for them to still win 12, 13 games. And they've added, they think they've added some depth through the draft. We don't know, but maybe that's what this team is. It's the by committee on both sides. I mean, I think Matt Milano's a Pro Bowl linebacker and Ed Oliver is a stud defensive tackle. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe it's not like the highlight name around the league, but people who know Ed Oliver's that good.
Oh yeah.
But then I think Rousseau and Epineza, the ends, are really good. Like, obviously I watch a lot of the Bills. So it seems like there's just really good players across the board, but maybe you can't necessarily point to the Chris Jones on this team.
Right.
Or, that
or the
type
Jamar
of
Chase or the
Jamar Chase. Right. So yeah. I don't know. It still looks like there's enough depth and it's all there. But to your point, maybe it's that everyone around them got a little bit better. Like the Patriots did get better. So that's not going to be a doormat team, I don't think, this year for them. Nope. I mean, they still should win the division.
Yeah, I think they'll still be favored to win the division. But again, I don't know if they're going to be, sort of 5 games clear as they were last year.
Yeah.
And it seems like, again, it's like to your first point about the Ravens, Bengals, and Chiefs, like it's a tough overall, like the AFC is tough, right? And so having like a home football game, playoff game is going to be important, I think, to them more than other teams. But and again, so that we've spent a lot of time on Buffalo, but like, the Jets and the Giants, I think everyone fully admit like they're in a full rebuild, or if you can, anything you get from them this year is a bonus. But like you said, I think that they're going to clip someone like or Syracuse or Army. I think one of those 4 teams are good for like an upset, or where you're going to, I wouldn't say derail another team's season, but there's going to be a time where and some team's going to be counting that as a win, and it won't be.
And part of it is that way. Yeah.
Like you got nothing to lose too with those teams, right? Like you can
nothing.
Yeah. So like you can, whether it's trick plays or just we're going to try that instead of just kneeling the ball, like we're just going to try throwing it anyway. Like it's you've got nothing to lose. So
yeah, that's a good way to say it, especially towards the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And
especially if
you got
the new players on the Giants start to gel towards the end of the season.
Sure. Or you're like, hey, let's give this other guy a try and see, like where you've got no film on him or something like that. Like, and I also think, again, like when in the past in the NFL, when one team gives another team trouble, it can start with a mobile quarterback. Like sometimes that can really, the defense is playing well, but then the QB gets the first down or breaks a contain or something like that. And Fields can do that. So I don't know if it's going to be, the Jets aren't going to be good, but him running around one game could be disruptive for someone.
That's funny. Our analysis here is can the Bills win the whole thing, and it's can the Jets and the Giants spoil someone's season with
Yeah,
one game?
that's it. And Syracuse and Army.
Syracuse and
Bills,
Army too. Yeah, Syracuse is not in the running for the ACC.
No, that's the state of affairs of New York is one
Yeah.
contender and then someone who's going to clip you. That's what it is. Like someone's going to be super pissed that when they lost to the Jets or the Giants or Syracuse at a
Army,
key part. Yeah. Army's a little tough because their schedule, like their second game at Kansas State. So,
you know what? That's a good test of if Kansas State's got their act together at the beginning of the season, because no one wants to play Army.
No.
Even though you're going to have, Kansas State's going to have way more 4-star players.
Yeah.
Than
Army.
It's
the triple option.
But the option is you just don't want to prepare for them. Like that's the only time of the year you're going to have to play against that.
Yes. So that's going to be really tough. For them. Then they've got like a bunch of other AAC teams on I don't think there's anything that's too crazy, but it's but yeah. So I thought that, and then the same thing with Syracuse. They've got the Tennessee at the beginning, UConn, Colgate, at Clemson, Duke, at SMU, Pitt, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Miami, Notre Dame near the end. Like there'll be underdogs in all those.
Yeah,
and all those teams are considering that a win probably. But they could get one of those. So
yeah, and Fran Brown. Oh, here's another one of my marriages of coaches and teams. So far, I know it's early going, but I kind of like this guy's like just whatever he's got going on, his attitude, and I think he's already named a starter, and it's not. At least the articles I've seen, he's named a starter as Collins, the transfer from LSU, and not Steve Angeli from Notre Dame, who I thought. Yep. I thought he looked good when he had to come in for Notre Dame. Either way, that QB room's pretty good if those two guys are there. So maybe that
Collins
guy
was a 4-star, I think, QB, and then and went to LSU, and that's sort of a big deal. So like if it's anything, I mean, you're probably not going to get what McCord did for you last year.
No, that was kind of
which was outstanding, but
outstanding, yeah.
But he could be good, and it's like you said, it's the same coordinator. A lot of the same. They lost a lot. Syracuse is one of those teams that got really pummeled in the transfer portal, but
and Pena, their number one receiver, is gone too. He's at Penn State. So, and I like the coach's comment there. He's like, ain't nobody getting that kind of money besides the kid at Ohio State talking about Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
And Pena was talking like, pay me. And he's like, there's the door. Like, you're good, but you're not Jeremiah Smith good.
No.
So, but I don't know. I like Brown there. I hope this works over time. I mean, his opening season, they came out with a bang. So,
yep.
Like you said, they're rebuilding, but they have a blue chipper at QB. So we'll see. We'll see
and
if
the same coordinator and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's a really big deal, and there'll be someone that's going to have to step up. Like someone who didn't start last year is going to get their chance, and it's not a highly rated person. So hopefully their development stuff has been good, but so they're not favored. They're not going to be anywhere close to the top two in the ACC, but they're going to get someone, it's someone on that one of those games where the other team's counting it as a win.
ACC who really needs the Syracuse game to be a win, it's going to be an L, and it's going to mess everything up. That's kind of almost characteristic of the ACC, right?
It is. Yeah.
A few teams will clip somebody at the top who just who shouldn't have lost to that team.
Yeah, like a sandwich game, so we had a rival the one before and a rival after or something, and then it's but
all right, Louise, we haven't talked about the Giants yet. Well, this is obviously the New York team. If you want to, historically, it's the most. No, it's the most well-known, wealthiest, most historic team. It's the oldest one out of all the teams in New York. That's what I mean. I don't mean right now. It's the team.
There's some Jets fans that probably want to say that they're.
Well, they have more Super Bowls than
absolutely
the Jets and the Bills put together, because the Bills have none. Right?
I got you. No, so here's my concern for the Giants, other than like everything we just said before, right? Like that, I don't know if Wilson's going to be the answer, or what they're going to get out of this. But the schedule isn't great to start, because it's at the Commanders, at the Cowboys, host the Chiefs, host the Chargers. So there's a real chance of being 0-4 there at the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. So, there's a chance of being 0-4.
So and then there's at the Saints, which is could win, but it's on the road. And then it's Eagles.
I'm assuming they should be favored in that game
at Saints. I don't know if they're 0-4, maybe not. But it's
who knows?
And then it's Eagles, Broncos, Eagles. So
that's awful. So what's that? If we give them the Saints game, that's 1-6, 1-7.
Yeah,
a very realistic 1-7.
So it's
Arch Manning. Arch Manning. We don't even know if he's coming out, right?
Because he
could stay.
He could stay, right? Especially if Texas is really good, but they just fall short of the national championship or something. Like money's not an issue.
That's a really good point.
So him coming, it's him convincing some of the other draft picks to come back, kind of like Penn State this year, because they could get the NIL money, so they don't have to go. So depending on what Texas does. That's a really good point.
If they don't finish the deal this year, given the recruiting base that they have, given the talent that's on that roster, it could be a deal where they all agree collectively, let's come back and finish the deal next year.
It feels like a Penn State type situation, like where it's they ended up, like, it's crazy that Drew Aller and the two starting running backs came back. You know what I mean?
Do you think there's any situation where they win it all this year and he still comes back? I mean, he's obviously making money in college. But to me, if he wins it all, he just increases the risk of an injury that messes up the draft.
It's less likely if they win it all that he would stay, I think. So
yeah, I think you're right. That might be the decision. The stories, it's almost like the Arch Manning story. Like, maybe he doesn't care about any of this stuff, but the story from a fan's perspective is, well, I mean, if he's what everyone thinks he's going to be, the story kind of has to be that he wins the championship, then goes pro.
Yeah,
instead of falling short, then going pro.
I think that, and it's so hard because there's a lot of narratives here, and it's the part of the Manning family and Eli and Peyton and stuff like that. But I think that the amount that Peyton and Eli have talked about what they accomplished in college and what they didn't accomplish in college, like, has to rub off at some point. Like, because it seems like, and again, I've never met him and we don't know what the hell he's like or anything, but like when Arch Manning was at like the media days and they're like, oh, you're the preeminent favorite to like win the, and he's like, that's crazy, like,
I've never started 2 games. Yeah.
Right. Like, and so it seems like he's got the right disposition, for this type of thing, but like, I'd be surprised if he'd want to, I'm projecting that he would want to accomplish something significant at college. So that to me is like, if he doesn't win the Heisman, or if they don't win the SEC or the national championship this year, then
like, what if he has an undefeated now this is turning into a Manning cast here. What if he has an undefeated season, gets a deep run in the playoffs, wins the SEC championship, but just doesn't win the whole thing? Maybe that's enough.
I don't know. That's a good question. But it's based on the first 8 games of the Giants' schedule, they might be in the running for. Yeah,
if he does come out, they could definitely be in the running. I know that Louise said that that's what she's hoping for. She doesn't care about Dart. If Dart works out, though, we don't know who's going to work out. That's the thing. If he gets the start and he looks good, kind of like how Purdy showed up and you're like, oh, last pick, great quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, and I don't know exactly who he's throwing to either, or how dynamic.
What are you talking about? Malik Neighbors, baby.
Yeah, like, he's true, but then everyone knows that it's going to him. Like, but anyway, I think that this to me, for my feeling for the Giants, is that this is a great see what you got year. We're going to see what Jackson Dart's like. We're going to see what Abdul Carter's like. We're going to see if Scadaboo is going to be able to make contribution. And then you're going to be in really good position for next year in terms of, like, what do we have to draft? What do we have to get in free agency? And where are we, like, in the draft? And you know what I mean? So that's what it feels like to me, because I just think that the expectations are low.
And then there's whether or not that defensive line is as good as we think it could be, with the addition of Abdul Carter and Darius Alexander might work out too, the D tackle. Again, it all might, but you just don't know if they're going to hit. But apparently Carter looks good in camp. But everyone's camp reports are, this guy looks good, that guy looks good. Right now it's like total optimism.
Yeah,
at all fronts. I saw a funny meme. It said showed all the teams in the NFL and what the GMs and coaches think of their season's prospects, and it's like cautiously optimistic. We'll wait and see. Like it's all of this like very clinical, like we're not sure. And then it's like what the fans think. Awesome. Like all 32 teams, like, oh yeah, we're going this year. And it's like everyone's got that like hope springs eternal. Like it's everyone's record's 0-0, right?
Yep.
We're all the same right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's so the similarity in college is the signing day, the last one.
Yeah.
So the every single media, every single like press conference, something that's it's like we're really happy with who we got. We think these guys are awesome. They're going to, be major contributors to our team. Everyone says the exact same, like everyone, like whether you're Tulane, Florida, like Northern Arizona, like doesn't matter. Like they all say the same thing. So
everyone's got a Heisman hopeful.
Yeah,
everyone's. This is going to be the year they win their division or they win their conference.
Yeah.
So.
And the only other thing I'll say about the Giants defense too is that what makes it what I'm always find relatively tragic with this team is that it is a good defense, right? But the defense it must really suck to play on a defense where the offense goes 3 and out like that much, and it's just and you're back on the field again, and over the course of the whole game, over the course of a season, like that wears on you. You know what I mean? So as good as this defense is, it's not going to be put in some great positions often, and which sucks, like, which is going to be hard for them, like that. But anyway, it's hopefully if Wilson, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like, but
do you think anyone in New York is excited about Wilson playing?
I don't know how. I really don't. Like it'd be one thing again when every now and then, if you have an amazing team and you put sort of like a game manager in the middle, like that's possible, but I just don't, they're not that. So he's going to have to win you some games. And I just don't know if he has that left in him.
Yeah. I don't, it's not the classic narrative of wins a Super Bowl, goes to 2 Super Bowls and wins Super Bowl with the team that drafted him, then gets shuffled around the league, and in his third stop after that, all of a sudden is great again. Like that narrative's never really ever happened.
Yeah, because it was sort Denver, then Pittsburgh, now Giants, right?
Yeah, so he's on his 4th team in 4 years, 4th and 4. Yeah, how can't really be in 3, 4th and 4, 4th and 5, whatever. He's on his 4th team now, and I don't think anyone in New York really thinks, oh, he's bringing us back to the play. Like this is how it works. We've been waiting for this guy that 2 other teams have cast off in the last 2 years. That's the guy we're waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the answer. So, and it's a bummer because Neighbors is that good.
Yeah. Oh, he's great.
Like he's his 2nd season, and it could be that the Giants can't get their act together for his entire rookie contract. They have just this revolving door at QB, and by his 4th year he might be like, okay, that's enough. I need to be on a team that can win, and they might squander his. I mean, he's going to get yards, he's going to get points, and it's all going to be for naught on a team that can't sort the QB position out while they've got it's one of the top 3 or 4 receivers. This guy's that good, which is a total shame because and on that note, so are some of these defensive players. Dexter Lawrence has got to be the best top 2 or 3 interior linemen for sure. In their scheme, he's a nose tackle, but in a 3-4, if they were in a 4-3, you just say he's one of the best tackles. So they've got oddly one of the best players on offense and one of the best players in the entire league on defense, and it doesn't matter at all because the rest of the teams, it's not good enough, and very specifically, they don't have a good enough QB.
Yeah, I was trying to look for because the Madden ratings came out, and it was I don't know where Neighbors wasn't near the top, which I thought was surprising.
Who cares what Madden says? Neighbors is that good. We know that. Yeah. Oh, we know that he's that good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see what Scadaboo looks like. It's just going to be, the best the Giants are going to be is a spoiler to somebody somewhere.
Yeah,
that's about it. I would be highly skeptical that they're going to even sniff the playoffs. Man. That schedule's awful.
Yeah, no, I know. So I know you didn't want to talk about the ratings, but it was there's like the number of wide receivers that are listed above him are significant.
You know what? Let's do that exercise. Read that out, and let's see if we even think that's valid.
Right. So there's Justin Jefferson. Yes,
fair. He's pretty good.
George Kittle's ranked like 98, which is really fun because it's out of 100. So like it's.
But is that in a tight end category?
No, it's like he's probably a tight end. Yeah, it's a tight end, but it's the. All right. So what else? Amon-Ra St. Brown 96.
He's good.
And then CD Lamb 95.
I don't know if I'd put St. Brown above CD Lamb.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill 95, mostly because of the speed, I would imagine.
Not at all because of his performance last year.
Yeah, exactly. The Terry McLaurin 94. So again, I don't know if I'd put him.
Good.
He's really good, but I don't know if I'd put him ahead of
if you look at his numbers last year, he was outstanding.
Yeah. But
No, I think McLaurin deserves to be way up there.
Yeah.
Are you just randomly looking, or do you have a list?
Yeah, I have a list, but it's every position player too, so it's going to take forever.
Oh, you can't narrow it down to wide receiver?
I'm sure I could, but I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Top-rate podcasting right here. No idea what we're doing.
No, it just made me think about it because he wasn't near the.
All right, well,
all right, I got it now.
All right.
So it's the.
Come on, let's have it.
I know. Sorry.
No, you don't have it. Forget. Okay, well, how about we just forget that?
No, I don't.
How about we just forget that?
Okay, I got it now.
All right.
Okay, so Jamar Chase, number 1, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk before Malik Nabers.
Okay, so so we can throw this list completely out. Forget that. That list is BS.
It seemed like it, right?
That list is nonsense. If you were drafting a receiver, how far down the list would you get before you would take Nabers?
Not that far.
No, maybe he'd be top
in the
4?
top 5. Yeah, but and so again, to your point, just like McLaurin is really good. He had an amazing QB last year too, right? So I think that like if it's just basing on the numbers, like I think that's only, but it's because it's supposed to be like speed, strength, and agility and stuff like that, which would have been.
Yeah, but forget the video game. You've watched these guys play. Would you take Nabers over McLaurin?
No. Yes.
Really?
Yes. No.
Yes,
Nabers over
I would
McLaurin. Absolutely. Every time.
Let's maybe this is the shorter list. Who would you take over Nabers? Chase and Jefferson? I think that's it.
Maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown.
No. Nabers.
Maybe Mike Evans when he's healthy. But like
only at the same age, maybe Mike Evans.
Yeah,
but that's a BS way out of it because we know he's turned into Mike Evans and he's just 1,000 yards for I don't know, probably 30 years now. He's been doing it.
Yeah.
But right now, how could you pick anyone other than Chase and Jefferson? That's it. Above Nabers. That's it.
And then there's the next person on this list for the Giants is Darius Slayton. He's pretty far down. So that was just my point about who's he throwing to. So,
well, I mean,
but other than
Nabers is a true number 1.
Yeah, that
is a true number 1. But if any of those better teams, you know what? No one can actually cover him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Giants. I mean, I'm going to be watching mostly because of Scatterboo. That guy's just so much fun. I hope he gets some playing time. But Tyrone Tracy's good. It's not like he's just not going to play. Scatterboo will probably come in get some carries, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be the featured back or anything. And the only other thing about the Giants is that defense might be really good, and it might just be wasted on this team because I don't think they can score much.
No, like you don't have to score much with that defense, but it's more than they have been, so I don't think. And
I did an episode of a couple months ago when the schedule came out of how bad this schedule really is.
Yeah.
And that I don't normally think about it in terms of that, like a schedule with the NFL versus college. It seems to be a bigger talking point in college, but boy, the schedule's awful this year for them.
It is a bigger deal in college than it is the NFL, but except for your division games, right? So you really notice a difference based on your division. So Houston Texans schedule is not nearly as bad as the Giants because they're going to play the Jaguars and the Titans twice each, and the Colts, right? As opposed to the Giants. like they got to play the Eagles and the Commanders twice, that's
I like how you leave the
significantly hard.
Cowboys out of that.
Well, they will, and the Cowboys, but I mean, like
We don't know what the Cowboys are going to be
those are
this year.
4 games that are like either home or away. It's going to be almost impossible, so. But
yeah,
anyway.
after the revelation of Jaden Daniels, everything got way tougher in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. I don't know. I think that's a good place to get anything else for the state of affairs of New York.
Nope, that's good for me.
All right, so we got one Super Bowl contender and a bunch of other teams that could spoil somebody's season, but that's kind of what the state of affairs of New York is looking like for 2025 in the NFL and college. All right, that's a good place to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barban, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.